So it's new bike day. I actually traded my pivot switchblade for a Jamis Portal. And this is the first ride.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were my husband. My bad.
That's all right. Definitely feels different.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. So today's video is going to be a bit different. As I mentioned earlier, that this is new bike day and I am riding a 2020 Jamis Portal C3. I traded in my pivot switchblade, which was a 2019 aluminum XT. I've been looking for a new bike for a while now. Not that I'm dissatisfied with the switchblade. I was just looking for something a bit lighter and a better climber than what the pivot is. Not that the pivot was a bad climber, just wanted something that was a bit more efficient, I guess you could say, and lighter. The pivot was by far the heaviest bike I have ever owned. I come from a background of basically cross country. After doing some research, I saw this Portal on Facebook Marketplace and I contacted the guy, and he indicated that maybe he'd be willing to trade the pivot for the Portal. I said, okay, that's cool. Go ahead and come over to my house. I got a trail in my backyard basically. And you can ride my bike and I'll ride yours and see what we can come up with. It's okay. Deal. Awesome. Traded, let's see, we took off our grips, saddles, and pedals. Swapped those over to the bike, and that's how I ended up with the Jamis Portal. I stopped buying new bikes probably about 10 years ago because it just doesn't make sense. At least for me, buying used bikes was the way to go. So you get something that's maybe 1, 2, 3 years old. It's still relevant, I guess you could say. And you're really not missing out on anything except for retail price tag. Both bikes are spec'd out almost identically. The pivot was 11-speed XT SLX. Portal is spec'd out 12-speed SLX. SLX brakes, just like the pivot. Performance Fox fork, just like the pivot. Shocks on the rear, very similar. So, I was trading geometry, not performance. After riding the Portal, I did 2 different rides. We rode at a familiar trail that we always ride just about every weekend, and then the next day we went and did some more technical stuff. What I found right out of the gate is the bike definitely feels more cross-country, and that concerned me a little bit because we do like to ride some of the technical terrain in western North Carolina, and I was unsure that maybe I made the right decision. But after I rode up, we actually did that climb twice on that Saturday. I rode up first time in pedal mode, which is middle steadying on the rear shock. And the second time I rode up wide open. And I have to admit, the bike actually rode better with the rear shock wide open than it did in pedal mode. Also, let it be noted that the suspension travel is also different on each bike. At 150 on the front, 130 on the front of the Portal. So the Portal is 130, The Pivot had more suspension, and I bought that bike because of that more suspension, because I was riding just basically race bikes all the time. That 100 mil of travel and very steep geometry. It doesn't really like rough downhills. That's why I got the Pivot to begin with. But after riding the bike for 3 years, I did buy it used, put a lot of miles on that bike, had a lot of great miles on that bike. But I decided it was time for a change. So going back to the Portal, when I got to the first pretty much smooth downhill, the Portal just felt planted to the trail. It was kind of a different feeling because the Pivot. So when I got done with my Saturday ride, I actually set 4 personal records, all of which included a more technical type trail, and then I came within 5 seconds on 4 other fast flowy trails. And this is a bike I've never ridden before. So that tells me that I'm really comfortable on this bike right out of the gate. So then Sunday we went and rode, had a 4-mile climb up to the start of the trail. The support, the pedaling platform just felt fantastic. So then we started the technical descent on the bike. And again, I set 4 more PRs on technical, way more technical than the day before descents. Now one particular segment, which actually parallels the road on the way back, I beat that time by 45 seconds over my previous best. And that's huge. Doesn't matter who you are. If you can beat something by 45 seconds, that's a huge improvement. So I was super stoked about that when I looked at that PR, and very, very happy with the Portal overall. As far as I can tell, the new 2023s, it's essentially the exact same bike that I got now. Mine's a 2020. It too was also a demo bike. Didn't look like it got ridden very often because there was like 2 scratches on the bike. Very good condition. Drivetrain works great, brakes work great, suspension works great. The reason I made this video is because there's not a lot of information on Portals out there. There's some articles and stuff like that I've read. I did a bunch of YouTube searching for the Janus Portal, and I found a few things, but no one's really putting any videos out about how the bike actually rides, and the bike is amazing to ride. Super planted on technical stuff. Even though it's 130 mil, you'd swear you're driving a 150 mil bike. It's actually smoother than my Pivot, which kind of blew me away. Hence the PRs that I set on those more technical type trails. Looking forward to getting more comfortable on the bike and some of the faster flow trails that I've been on before, and I set good times with the Pivot. I look forward to improving those times with the Portal because I know I will. I mean, the bike is just amazing. James isn't a big name, as far as everybody knowing about him. It's not Specialized or Trek or any of those. As far as I can tell, name recognition. I've heard of Janus, never owned a Janus. I've seen other people ride Janus, but it's just not a bike that you see very often. At least I don't. And I always like to try something different. And this bike fits that bill. A great handling bike, super precise. Where you point the bike, it'll go. Uphill, downhill, technical climbs, flow climbs, whatever. It's kind of a do-it-all. And that's why I bought the Switchblade, because it's a do-it-all type bike also. Just that this Portal weighs about 6 pounds less. And the only thing I've changed on the Portal is I got a new set of handlebars, because I was just a little bit too far forward on the bike. I felt some pressure in the palms of my hands, just slightly. It wasn't anything major, but if I can be riding this bike doing long rides on it, I want to be more comfortable. So there's my take on the Pivot Portal. There's my take on the Janus Portal. It's a great bike. If you haven't ridden the bike, you need to go demo one because it's a machine. It handles everything really well, and I'd say it's more of a Switchblade than the Switchblade was. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next one.